Hey y'all, Mrs. Blake here with a lesson about stem and leaf plots. As with my other videos, you need to print out the notes that were posted with the video to help follow along. Stem and leaf plots are just a way of organizing information, okay? So we're gonna talk about how to make them, but also how to interpret them. So here we have a set of data up at the top of our notes page, okay? This is the amount of time some students said it takes them to get to school, okay? Now, over here is a stem and leaf plot that's already been set up for you. It has a title, it has the actual word stem and leaf on it, stem on the left, leaf on the right, and kind of a lopsided T or a lopsided cross in the middle, okay? Let's talk about what all this means. The leaf side of the table is for the ones place. Essentially for stem and leaf plots, you're always separating your data so that you have one digit on the right side and then all the other digits on the left. So in this case, the ones place is the digit that we have on the left. So all other digits go on the stem side. Okay, and I'll show you in just a second how to set those up. Some of you might be saying, well, hold on, Mrs. Blake, you have some that are single digit numbers. Well, that's your ones digit. So in the tens place, technically you have a 0 on those. That's how we need to think of those, okay? Stems and leaves go in order from least to greatest. So it's okay that our data is not arranged least to greatest here. We're gonna get it all arranged for our plot, okay? Once we list our leaves, there are no commas. It's gonna be super tempting to separate our list of leaves with commas, but they are not necessary. In fact, they are incorrect to have on a stem and leaf plot. Last but not least, in order to read the stem and leaf plot, we need to make sure to include a key with a label, okay? So those are our steps. Let me show you what they're all going to look like. First, let's go through and see what tens digits we have so we know what our stems are going to be. I have ones, I have some with 2, I have some with 3, I have some with 4, and then I have some that are going to have a 0. So from least to greatest, I'm gonna list those top to bottom here on my stem. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I go back to my data and I find all the pieces of data that have a 0 in the tens place, and I list those least to greatest. So first I'm just gonna go through and I'm gonna put a dot above each one. I have a 7, a 5, and an 8. Well, least to greatest, that would be 5, 7, 8. So notice I left a little bit of space between them. I didn't smush them right up together, but I did not use commas. So now let's cross those guys out. They've been used. Now I need to find all of my pieces of data with a 1 in the tens place. So I have 15, 10, 15, 15, 10, and 12. Now notice some of these numbers repeat. I have 2 15s, I have 2 10s. I need to list every piece of data, every ones digit for every piece of data. So the least would be these zeros for the tens. So I'm gonna put 2 zeros. Then the 2 for my 12. And then 1, 2, 3 5s for 15. Again, no commas, in order least to greatest, and you include every single piece of data. If a leaf repeats, that's okay. Now I need to go through and find everybody with a 2 in the tens place. I have 20 and 23, so least to greatest would be 0 and then 3. Let's cross those off. With a 3 in the tens place, I'm gonna have a 0 and a 2. And with a 4 in the tens place, I'm gonna have a 0 and a 5. Always be super careful with your data to make sure you don't forget anyone. That's why I like to cross my pieces off. You can also go back and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That's how many leaves you should have if you did it right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That helps you make sure that you haven't forgotten anyone. Now, if someone were to just walk in the room and look at this stem and leaf plot, they would have no clue what these numbers mean or how to read them. They don't know that this is a 10 or that this is a 23. It looks like 203 maybe to someone. That's why the key is huge. For the key, you pick any number from your whole entire stem and leaf plot. I am going to use 12. So this 1 and this 2. You make kind of a little mini stem and leaf plot here with your stem on the left, a long line, and your leaf on the right. And then you show your reader that we would read that as a 12, and then we need to make sure to include a label. That label might be a $sign, it might be the word tickets, whatever the table is talking about, make sure to put that label here. Now that tells someone, you take a number from the left side of the plot, you take a number from the right, put it with that number, and read it as a 2-digit number, okay? Now, we are also going to be answering questions about stem and leaf plots. So, let's look right here. About these questions right here go with what we just made. So the greatest number of minutes. Well, I'm going to come down to my biggest stem with the biggest leaf. So the greatest number of minutes I have is 45. And then the least number of minutes is my smallest stem with his smallest leaf. So my least number of minutes is 5. Now this next question is a little tricky. It says, which interval contains the most values? That means which of these sets of numbers has the most pieces of data in it. If we think about it, this stem and leaf is only going to contain numbers from 0 to 9. This stem and leaf is going to contain numbers from 10 to 19, 20 to 29, 30 to 39, and 40 to 49. I may not have pieces of data that go all the way up to that top number in that interval, but it could be there, okay? So when it says which interval contains the most values, it essentially means which row has the most leaves. Well, that is this one here, and the interval for that row is 10 to 19. It doesn't mean I have all these numbers in between here. It just means the most values are in the row that could have 10 to 19. So let's make a note to yourself that when it asks you which interval contains the most values, that means the line with the most data, okay? The line with the most data. Now, range, median, and mode are still present. We're still using those. Range, of course, is going to be your biggest piece of data, your 45, minus your smallest piece of data, which is 5. 45 minus 5 is 40, so my range is 40. My mode is going to be my piece of data that appears the most. Well, I have 3 5s right here, so, and when I put those with a 1, it makes a 15. So I have more 15s than anything else. Yes, I have 2 10s, but I have 3 15s, so 15 would be my mode. For median, you need to count to the middle of your table and figure out which number's in the middle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One more from the beginning, one more from the end. This 5 right here is in the middle. So 15 is also my median, okay? Here at the bottom of our notes, I'm going to show you what a stem and leaf plot would look like if we were dealing with decimals, okay? Still going to have your stem, still going to have leaf. But in this case, my stems are going to be my ones place, and my leaf side is going to be the tenths place, okay? Whatever the last digit of your numbers are, is what is going to go on the leaf side. So this one isn't going to start with 0. This one's just going to start with whatever my smallest ones place is here. So it looks like my smallest ones place is 5. I have a 5 in the ones place. I have 6s. I have 7s. I even have an 8, but that's all I have. So I'm just going to put 5, 6, 7, 8. Now I go through and find all my ones with 5s. One of them there. 5.9 and 5.8. Well, least to greatest still. 8 is smaller than 9, so I would put 8, 9. Go through and find all your ones with a stem of 6. I have a 0, my smallest, a 2, and then 2 5s. All my ones with 7. I have a 5, and all the rest are 8s. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 8s. And then last but not least, I have one piece of data with an 8, and he has a 0. Now, again, keys are super important because it tells your reader how to read these numbers. They don't know these numbers are decimals, so we need to show them. I'm just going to use 7.5. Make a little mini stem and leaf plot and show them to read that as 7.5, and it's going to be pounds for my label, okay? The last stem and leaf plot we are going to make together is one with 3-digit numbers. So let's look at how that would work. We set it up the same, stem, leaf. Now remember, I can only have 1 digit in the numbers on this side, and all the rest is a stem. Well, since these are 3-digit, my stems are going to be the first 2 digits of each number. So I have 11s, I have 12s, 13s, 14s, and I think that's it. So 11 is going to be my smallest stem. So 11, 12, 13, 14. So I need to go through and find all the ones that start with 1, 1. That's where I shall begin. So I have a 0, a 1, a 3, and a 7. Then all the ones that start with 1, 2. All my ones that have a stem of 1, 3. Looks like there's just one of those guys. And all my ones that have a stem of 1, 4 is all my guys that are left. I have a 3. I have 2 5s. Then I have a 6 and an 8. Okay, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I got everybody. Again, my reader's not going to understand these are 3-digit numbers unless I show them with a key. I'll just use these 3 digits right here. So I have my 13, long line with a 7, and I show my reader that that is 137 tickets. Now, sometimes you're going to be given a stem and leaf plot that's already made and just have to answer some questions about it. So that's what we'll be doing here at the bottom. Last thing. Here's your stem and leaf plot. Here's their key. And then we are answering these questions. The range, remember, is your largest piece of data minus your smallest. So 42 minus 14. If you need to use a calculator for that, go for it. Let me get mine fired up here. So 42 minus 14, largest piece of data minus smallest, gives me 28. My median is the number that's in the middle. So count from the outside. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh, I have a 25 and a 30 in the middle. So remember, we have to do 25 plus 30 and divide by 2. It's okay that it's a decimal. And then mode, I'm looking for the number that appears the most. I have 2 5s right here. Let me zoom in a little bit so y'all can see that a little bit better. I have 2 5s. Those go with a 2, so I know those are 2 25s. I don't have any other pieces of data that appear more than once, so 25 is my mode. Now, as far as which interval contains the most values, remember you're looking for the line with the most data. Well, that's this line right here. And the interval for that line, the smallest number it could be is 30. And the biggest number that could be there is 39. So that means the most pieces of data fall between 30 and 39. Okay? So at this point, what you need to do is go and complete the stem and leaf plot Google form. You aren't going to be creating any stem and leaf plots, but just answering questions about ones that are already made. If you want some more practice with making stem and leaf plots, you are welcome to go back to these notes, look at the data, and maybe try to make your own stem and leaf plots again on a separate sheet of paper, and then use the notes that we made together to check your answers. Have a great day, guys.